Doing some short-term trades within 2 days, I was able to make $2,700 roughly, which came out to about a 15% return. I'm going to walk you through the stock, the trade, the analysis, and how it all went down right now. So one of the beautiful things about the stock market is the ability to go in and literally print money when the opportunity presents itself. So in this trade where we went and made about $2,700 in 2 days, what I love about that is some people wait for maybe a stimulus check, or some people may wait for a tax return, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just trying to show you how you can actually print your own stimulus check or create your own tax returns if you have A, some capital, because it does take some money to do this, and B, more importantly, the know-how. So let's take a look at the actual trade, the stock, the option we bought, and what we were seeing when we took this position. All right, so right here, we're inside of my Charles Schwab account. And what I want to show you is that we bought on April 12th, we bought 50 contracts. So you can see right here, quantity. We bought 50 contracts of Intel. Now, in this trade, we bought 50 put option contracts, which means we were looking for the stock to go down. And I'm going to walk you through that analysis and why we believe it was going to fall. The total cost of that trade was $17,775. That's why I said earlier, you can do this if you have some capital. Now, you don't need $17,000. I showed you in the previous video how I did something very similar with Microsoft. And I only used $5,000 to do that with Microsoft. So I don't want you to think you have to have $17,000. I did something very similar with just as little as $5,000 with Microsoft and made roughly the same type of return. So I put $17,000 into this trade. I bought 50 contracts, and then I sold all the contracts. You can see all of the sales right here on the 14th where I was getting out of the trade. Now, the reason that there's just so many of these 2, 3, 1, 14, 5 is because when I sold that block of 50 contracts, the market just divvied them up to whoever would buy them. So one person didn't buy all 50 and went to several different buyers. But as we scroll back down here, what you'll be able to see is what was the total profit off that $17,000. We were able to bring in $2,698.99. I'm just rounding up to $2,700 just to keep things super simple. So let's take a look at what I was in, what I was out at, and then we'll take a look at the actual trade and what were we seeing on the chart. So if you look at this, we were in April 12th and we spent $17,775.50. And then when we got out, we were able to snatch a profit of $2,698.99. If you do the math and divide those up, we were able to capture a 15.18% profit for 2 days. So basically we made 15% in 2 days, which is not a bad return. I didn't say 2 years. I didn't say 6 months. We were able to go in, snatch that type of profit out within 2 days. And I always like to point this out for my people who do real estate. This is why I love the stock market, because in order to make maybe $2,689 on a rental property, I might have to have 150, 200,000, maybe 300,000 or more tied up into a house just to make this same type of money or make less. And then on the flip side of it, I have to wait 30 days to receive that rent check, right? But I was able to take a fraction of the same money and do it right here in the stock market with the trade. All right. Now, I'm not knocking real estate. Real estate has its purpose, but I'm just telling you why I'm super excited about what's possible with the stock market. Now, let's take a look at the actual trade that we were looking at and how the whole thing played out. All right. So this is a chart of Intel. And if you're not used to drawing support and resistance lines, well, here's what I'll do. I'll delete these and then I'll start from scratch. So when you look at Intel, first thing you want to determine is it an up or downtrend? So I'm just looking at this and I can see that it's in a downtrend, but not only is it in a downtrend, you want to identify where is support and resistance, which is what we teach inside Power Trades University. And you can kind of see exactly where support and resistance is at. So technically, if I was going to buy puts, I should have took my first put position right here and wrote this thing all the way down And then this is where I would take my profits right here, where I can tell it usually bounces. So here we'll write the word profit there, and we'll just put a P there, and we'll put a P there. So that's where I should be getting out if I'm going to take a put option trade. Now, when you look over here, we didn't quite get back up to the top, but here's what happened. Here's the day that we entered that new trade. We entered that new put option trade right here. And our whole thought process was that this sell-off was going to continue and that the stock was going to get back down to this level. Now, we never got back down to that level, but let me show you where we took profit and why. So I'm going to switch this to a moving average view. And I want to show you exactly what I was seeing. If you look right here where the arrow is at, where we bought on this day, you can see that the stock was being rejected right here at this, I think it's the 50-day, oh no, I'm sorry, the 10-day moving average. You can see it ran up and then sold off and then went bearish for the day. And so we looked at that as a continuation sign that the stock would continue to sell off. So the next day it paused, and then the next day, let me clean some of this up so you can see. And so the next day is where we got this big red candlestick, all right? And so what we ended up doing was closing out the trade 2 days later. So this was the day we entered, 1 day, 2 day, and then this was the day we took profit right here. And you can see that was the right thing to do because the stock reversed and went up. Well, you might say, well, Jason Brown, why did you take profit right here and not way down here? We try to teach our students not to be greedy. You see, if you were to, let me switch this back up again. If you were to enter the trade initially up here, then we would have had an opportunity to make money as the stock falls all the way down to here potentially. But that's not what happened. We entered the trade on this day. And so really the amount of money we were trying to make was from here all the way down to here. So not as big a profit to be made. And so once we made majority of that profit, or almost 50% of the profit left to be made, we didn't want to be greedy and try to get this last little bit. I think that's where most people go wrong. Most people end up blowing up their account because they're like trying to make this last little bit of profit, and then the stock turns around and reverses. What you really want to be doing and thinking about is how can you make the bulk of the profit? So if there's $5 to be made from the stock dropping, how can you make 3 of that $5? Because in order to make the entire 5, you have to be perfect. Meaning you have to enter right on the day that it's going down, and you have to get right out at the exact last minute that the stock will stop falling. If you set yourself up to be perfect in the stock market, you will lose money perfectly every single time. So we don't want to be perfect. We don't want to be greedy. We just want to catch the bulk or the meat of the trade and not try to get the dessert and everything else with it. So I hope this has been helpful, just showing you how you can take some money like $17,000 in this example, jump in on a trade like Intel, make money from the stock falling, and generate a 15% return in only 2 days. And again, if you haven't checked out our other video where we walk you through where we did this with Microsoft, but with a fraction of the money, we only did it with about $5,000. That video will be somewhere on the page. Click the link, check out that video as well. I hope this has been helpful. Let me know in the comments. I'm signing off saying, you never go broke taking a profit.